So guys, I get this question asked a lot. When is the dividend paid out? So I decided to do a video about it. So if you look up any stock, let's say AT&T. So some stocks pay dividends every 3 months, some pay every month, and some pay once or twice a year. But the most common ones are every 3 months, so every quarter. If you look up a stock either on Yahoo Finance or your broker account like Investor's Edge or Questrade, and you go in the detailed chart, you can see when the dividends are paid out. So if on Yahoo Finance, for example, if you click on the chart, detailed chart here, you can see that the D's here represent dividends. And if you don't see it, you'll just have to make sure it's included under events over here. So as you can see here, AT&T paid 50 cents here, paid another 50 cents here, paid another 50 cents here, 50 cents here again, 49 cents here. So the dates that you see here, these are the dates on which or before which you need to hold the stock. You need to be a shareholder of the stock before this date here. And to be exact, it's about 2 to 3 business days before this date because there's something called settlement date. So when you buy a stock, the company doesn't know right away on the same day that you are that you are on the books. So if the record date is October 9th and you buy the stock October 9th, you're not going to get the dividends that were declared for that date. You need to buy the stock 2 to 3 days before this October 9th date. So this date is called as of record date. The day that you need to actually buy the stock at is the ex-dividend date, which is usually 2 to 3 business days before this record date. So to get those dates, just simply Google search dividend AT&T dividend payment date, go on a reliable source, and then here you could see, so for this stock that we're looking at over here, October 9th, as of record date October 9th. So you could see it here, record date October 10th. So that means you need to have held the stock 2 or 3 days before October 10th. And if you do, you will get a dividend payment on November 1st, which is deposited in your broker account. And as you can see here, AT&T, I got a dividend payment on November 1st. So I was a shareholder before October 10th. And for that reason, I got a dividend payment on November 1st. Now this declaration date is just the date where they announce the dividends, but you don't have to buy or hold the stock on this declaration date. What matters is the record date. You need to have bought the stock 2 or 3 days before the record date. And then you're gonna get the actual cash, the actual dividend, you're gonna get it on the payment date. So you can actually buy the stock a few days before the record date, so let's say October 7th, and then sell it on October 11th, and you would still get a payment. You would still get a dividend payment. But so in theory, you can do that. But in practice, what usually happens is the stock drops a little bit after the record date and usually drops enough to compensate for the dividend payment that's upcoming. But you can be lucky sometimes and the stock could rally up for some other reason. So you benefited from the dividend payment short term and also maybe a small capital gain. So you could hold the stock for 3-4 days and actually get a dividend payment if you're lucky. It's rare. So in theory, it shouldn't work because broker accounts will actually, if you've got an order on a stock before the dividend record date, they will adjust your order based on the upcoming dividend. But yeah, it's not a strategy that I go for, but it's just nice to point out. So if you buy the stock October 10th, you're not gonna get the dividend on November 1st. If you buy it October 7th, in this example, you'll get the dividend on November 1st. If you buy it September 28th and sell it October 7th, for example, you will not get the dividend on November 1st. If you buy it November 28th, let's say, and you sell it October 10th, you would get the dividend payment. To confirm your dividend payment, you need to have held the stock 2 or 3 days before the record date. That's all that matters. So if we look at another example here with AT&T, so record date here is July 9th, 50 cents. And if we Google the dividend payments, you can see the record date is July 10th. I don't know why it's 1 day off, but so yeah, whichever date you go with, you still have to have bought the shares about 3 business days before this record date. So October 7th. So you need to have bought the shares before October 7th in order to receive dividends on the payment you would receive on September 1st. Sorry, the payments you would receive August 1st. Now, if you buy it July 7th and sell it October 10th, you would get 2 dividend payments because you would have bought it before record date of this dividend payment, and also you will, on record date of this dividend payment, which is October 7th, you would have been still a shareholder if you sold it October 10th. So that's how you get paid for dividends, or that's when you should buy a stock in order to get included in the next dividend payment. And the dividends are usually paid out in your broker account in cash, as you can see here. And the payment dates are usually provided here. So what you see on the charts is the record date, the day on which you should buy the stock before. So the record date that you see on the charts is a date that you should be buying the stock. Basically, you should be buying the stock 3 days before this record date that you see on the charts. So this is a stock that pays dividends every month. So as you can see here, record date, October 31st. So I bought this stock before October 31st, and I got a dividend payment of $16, which is 10 cents per share. And I got this payment on November 9th, so 9 days later. I bought the stock October 12th. Therefore, it is before October 31st, which is the record date, and it's way before October 31st. So that means I'm going to get included in the dividend payment, which I did on November 9th. So that's how you get paid dividends, and as you can see, it comes in as cash in your broker account. You could also participate in something called a DRIP program, which is instead of getting cash, the company will repurchase shares with that cash, with that dividends. Personally, I don't like that because the day the dividends are paid, you might not like the price of that stock. So you might not want to buy that same stock at that price that it's trading at. So I'd rather get the cash and decide what I want to do with it. I'll buy more of that same stock if I want to, or I'll do something else. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Like always, if you're going to open an account with Questrade, use my referral code in the description below the video to get between $25 and $250 back. If you're an active trader, I'll provide a link below where you can get $50 in free trades. Thanks for watching.